Discovering one's true purpose can span years, decades, or even an entire lifetime. While some find purpose in faith or in standing up for the vulnerable, others seek it in their family history. Today, I want to talk about Andreas of Ebb, a man who valued destiny, pride, and legacy above all else. His greatest sense of purpose came from his family history. His most cherished possession was a book chronicling the heroic deeds of his ancestor, the noble Antanas, who was said to have vanquished the god tyrant Adir. To truly grasp the essence of Andreas, we must first go back 1,000 years in the past, to a time where the great Antanas sought to elevate mankind above the gods, no matter the cost. Antanas was a noble, and supposedly a descendant of one of the 3 original judges. His lineage should have made him a beacon of justice and balance for mankind. Yet, Antanas harbored ambitions far beyond the confines of mortal aspirations. His deepest desire was not just to rule or lead, but to transcend, to become as powerful as a god could be. In the heart of his citadel, Antanas embarked on a nefarious journey into the forbidden. Here, shielded from prying eyes, he subjected humans to dark experiments. As he tampered with the essence of life and spirit, these once human subjects transformed into grotesque, monstrous beings. To the world outside, Antanas presented these transformations as acts of purification, a means to cleanse the human soul. In truth, these were distorted manifestations of his quest to harness godly powers. His actions, though covert, had far-reaching consequences. The once stable realm started quivering under the weight of the imbalance Antanas introduced. This distortion in the equilibrium roused Adir, the once defeated god. Sensing the tumultuous shifts, Adir awakened, setting the stage for another cataclysmic confrontation between divine wrath and human ambition. Antanas' unchecked obsession took a grim turn. The noble, in his quest for power, became a bloated, monstrous caricature of his former self. Yet, before his reign of terror could further destabilize the realm, Harkin intervened. Harkin is a hero of old, who stopped Antanas and prevented the resurgence of Adir. With Antanas' downfall, one would expect the truth of his malevolence to become public knowledge, but that was far from what transpired. Following these events, Harkin, the realm's savior, was vilified. The Council of Antanas, driven by their own agendas, rewrote the narrative. In this revised history, Antanas emerged as the hero who single-handedly thwarted Adir's return and was unjustly slain by Harkin, depicted as a traitor to humankind. This skewed portrayal persisted, and for over hundreds of years, the populace revered Antanas as their protector, oblivious to the darkness of his true legacy. A millennium after Antanas' demise, the tales of his valiant deeds and ambitions live on, finding a fervent believer in Andreas of Ebb. This young descendant of Antanas isn't just inspired by the stories, he's utterly consumed by them. For Andreas, Antanas isn't merely an ancestor, but a wealth of potential, symbolizing the possibility of rising above the petty confines of mortality to challenge the divine. The whispers of Adir's looming return and of the Umbral Lamp's existence, believed to possess the power to defeat gods, only fueled his convictions. In this turbulent atmosphere, Andreas sees his path, believing with unwavering certainty that he is chosen to complete Antanas' grand mission. Wanting to mirror Antanas not just in ambition but in appearance too, Andreas commissions a costly suit of armor. Antanas was described as a courageous leader, always donned in an armor adorned with a lion's face. Wishing to embody this valor, Andreas ensures his armor reflects this iconic design, symbolizing his own courage and resolve, or so he thinks. With his armor ready and purpose clear, Andreas sets his sights on the beacons of Arias, believed to be in the city of Mornstead. However, reaching them isn't straightforward. The journey reveals a landscape marred by conflict, with traces of a recent Rogar invasion and the presence of the zealous Hallowed Sentinels. In the midst of this journey, at Fitzroy Gorge, an opportunity presents itself. A lone soldier, believer in Orius, stands before him. Displaying a cold demeanor, he ambushes the soldier.
Oh, damn coward!
Come now. You are half dead already. If anything, I'm merely helping you to your well-earned rest, while helping myself to your supplies.
In the name of Aureus, you...
Gods! That's all you people talk about. Aureus this and Adir that. You have no vision, no ambition. Just so desperate to be ruled. Well, despite what so many think, we have never needed gods to guide humanity. Only the right man for the task.
Who are you?
The future you won't live to see.
Their brief encounter ends with Andreas displaying his dominance as he kicks the soldier off the cliff, mocking her faith and proclaiming his vision of a future independent of divine interference. This is one of the first clues we get to Andreas' true nature. Further in his journey, Andreas crosses path with Drustin, a man engrossed in the chaos of Mornstead, searching desperately for his brother. Drustin possesses a lamp, one he fervently believes is the famous Umbral Lamp. However, Andreas immediately discerns that Drustin's lamp is nothing more than a common illumination device, a common lamp. The weight of the deception on Drustin is evident, yet his ignorance shields him from the reality. Andreas eventually finds a safe spot at Skyrest Bridge. Here, fate orchestrates the first meeting between him and you, the holder of the authentic Umbral Lamp. The genuine article catches Andreas' eye instantly, and he wastes no time in trying to win it over with flattery and tales of his prestigious lineage.
That's it, isn't it? Oh, the Lamp of Immortality. And the genuine article. Not a useless empty vessel like the one I saw that witless fool bumbling around with. I've learned a little since coming to Mornstead about that lamp and the awful mission to which it's attached. I hope you recognize that frightful burden for what it is. In truth, what's been done to you is downright cruel.
He brandishes the tales of Antanas, making a poignant effort to highlight the weight of the responsibility you bear. Despite his charismatic efforts, you remain unmoved, holding steadfastly to the lamp. Recognizing the challenge he faces, Andreas adopts a more cunning approach. His perception of your prowess is only reinforced when he hears of your triumph over the Congregator of Flesh in the Forsaken Fen. Now more convinced than ever of the lamp's authenticity, Andreas shifts his strategy. He provides you with the Fief key. His proposition is clear. Venture into the Fief of the Chill Curse, suggesting that within its frosty bounds lies not just one of the sought-after beacons, but perhaps other riches too. With your progress in Upper Calrath and your triumph over the spurned progeny, the intrigue of Andreas grows, and he further devises his plan to capture the Umbral Lamp. Leaving behind a meticulously written note at Skyrest Bridge, he informs you of his journey into the Fief of the Chill Curse himself, hinting at an imperative destination tied to your fate. Dearest friend, I venture into the frigid fief of Kinran, hoping you will find the courage to follow in my footsteps. Seek the windmill in that ruined hamlet Redcopse, for nearby stands the entryway to that place which is clearly integral to your destiny. Do not be cowed by the fear that so shamelessly marks those of lesser merit. Andreas of Ebb still pretends to be your friend, revealing a man determined to fulfill his destiny, no matter the cost. As you venture into the fief, the cold bites at every step. The icy tunnels are treacherous and misleading, filled with unexpected threats. In the midst of a tunnel's frozen shadows, there is a sudden grunting sound, followed by a massive trap intended to end your life. The tunnel nearly collapses. In the moment of danger, the trap proves effective and snuffs out your life. But the power of the Umbral Lamp, the very thing that Andreas covets, reignites your existence. It's the lamp's central power, the ability to resurrect its bearer. The oversight of Andreas proves costly, as his trap becomes ineffective against the power of the lamp. The sting of not obtaining the Umbral Lamp, coupled with his perceived successful deception, leads him to pursue other avenues. He becomes intent on finding another bearer of the lamp, thinking it might present a more vulnerable opportunity. And boy, was he wrong. Your paths cross once more at Skyrest Bridge, where Andreas, continuing his masquerade of friendship, speaks of a personal loss.
You, with all the assistance I've given you so far, it's time you return the favor and do something for me. I was minding my own business up above when I was attacked by some barbarian with a hammer, more animal than man. He fled when he saw he was no match for me. But only now do I realize I must have dropped my book of lineage during the fight. I won't have proof of my birthright lying disrespected in the dirt somewhere. Find it and bring it back to me.
It seems that in the midst of a fight, Andreas lost his most prized possession, the Book of Lineage. This book is more than just pages and ink to Andreas. It's the cornerstone of his identity. Without it, Andreas stands on the precipice of his most profound fear, being ordinary. Needing your help, Andreas tasks you with retrieving the book, and it doesn't take a genius to see the cracks in the behavior of Andreas. He seems cruel. As you continue your exploration, a particular scene catches your attention on the upper reaches of the Skyrest Bridge. Here, you find a stigma which reveals traces of a recent skirmish. Andreas, in his continued desperation for an Umbral Lamp, attempted an ambush on the Iron Wayfarer, none other than Harkin himself, from the tales in Andreas' book. You see, Harkin has an Umbral Lamp himself, keeping him alive for hundreds of years, bringing him to this moment in this time. But the attempt of Andreas proves futile, as Harkin's raw strength outmatches Andreas' desperation. A coward found no victory here.
You'll have to do better than that if you want this lamp, coward.
Keep your distance! I warn you!
Among the signs of this recent fight, you find the Book of Lineage. This book has been the cornerstone of the identity of Andreas for his entire life, painting a picture of his foreordained greatness and his lofty ambitions rooted in his family's past. Returning to the Skyrest Bridge, you offer the book back to its rightful owner. Or you don't, that's up to you. In a mixture of gratitude but also arrogance, Andreas extends an offer to stand by your side in an upcoming battle. His self-proclaimed prowess as a swordsman is presented as a token of his appreciation.
In fact, to show the extent of my gratitude, I'd be glad to fight alongside you at some point during your travels. It's the least I can do.
Later in the story, as the showdown with the Light Reaper unfolds, the true intentions of Andreas come to the fore. Regardless of whether you chose to summon him before the battle against the Light Reaper or not, his deep-seated desperation surfaces after the battle. Andreas, having been thwarted multiple times in his attempts to secure an Umbral Lamp, sees an opportunity in your potential weakened state.
I have a destiny to seize, and that lamp is the key, and you're in my way! You pig, ignorant little wretch! Who do you think you are?
As the dust settles, it's you who emerges victorious. Andreas, in his final moments, lets out a cry of frustration, a culmination of his failures, dreams, and the weight of his lineage. As he falls, the ambitions of Antanas the burdens of legacy, and the aspirations of Andreas all extinguish, marking an end to a tale that spanned a millennium. Let's hope he doesn't have kids. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you haven't seen it yet, go check out my video on Isaac the Dark Crusader. I want to say a huge thank you to the folks over on the Lords of the Fallen Discord who were happy to answer all my lore questions when I wasn't sure about something. Thanks, guys. So, who should we cover next?